Here's the little last section of our worksheet here, our review. And there will be some just like this on the test, so it's good that we go over them. Okay, for 13, they want us to find the slant height, L, of a cone with radius 5, so R is 5, and height 12. Height 12. Well, my tendency might be to look at my formula sheet and see if there are any formulas where I have an R, an H, and an L. And in fact, we could use a formula to find the slant height using R and L. But the first thing I want to do is actually draw a picture, because this one's going to become way easier if we just draw this picture for ourselves. Okay, so this radius is 5. I know that, and I know that they want me to find the L, slant height, but they also tell me that the height here is 12. And I hope now that we've drawn our picture, you can kind of see what we actually need to do. Is we have this right triangle here, and if I were to redraw it out here, it would look something like this. Okay, 5, 12, and L, and it's not drawn to scale really. This is a little fatter than this one, but 5, 12, and L, right? So there's this triangle here, and I have two sides. I want to find the missing side, so I'm going to use Pythagorean theorem. And interestingly, we're actually going to see that this is a Pythagorean triple, and so this is a Pythagorean triple with 5, 12, and then something as the last number. But we're going to figure that out, and then you can use that on the test later to do this really quickly and just tell what L is. But we're going to count 5 as A and 12 as B. Remember that these don't matter, the order of these don't matter, as long as you have the hypotenuse right. This is the only one that matters, right? So you might even write a star. Not on that side because we're going to put a square, but write a star. This is the one that matters, okay? And that is L. And the reason that is because it's the hypotenuse. Okay, so that's C every time, the hypotenuse. So 5 squared is 25 plus 12 squared, which is 144. And then this is L squared equals L squared. So 25 plus 144 is 169 equals L squared. And I just square root that, and I get 13 equals L. And actually, this is a Pythagorean triple. Okay, so you can remember this. This is also like our 3, 4, 5 triangle. So they will always be 13. So if you see a 5, 12, it'll always be 13 on the hypotenuse. Or if you saw 5, 13, you would know that this side is always 12. Okay, so just remember those Pythagorean triples, because it's going to save you some work if you can see them and then just apply them real quickly. Just like that, Pythagorean triples. Okay. So then looking at 14, they want us to find the radius, they want us to find R of a sphere with volume, V, 36 pi. So V equals 36 pi. Well, I know that a volume of a sphere is 4/3 pi r cubed, just like that. And I want to find R. I want to find this thing right there. So if volume is 36 pi, I can actually put 36 pi in for V. I can just plug it right in. Equals 4/3 pi r cubed. So there's that. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to get rid of this denominator, because these fractions make it really confusing, but it's really simple. We're going to times by 3 on both sides. The way you can think about this is doing the opposite. Right? So if I have this fraction here, I'm timesing by the numerator, dividing by the denominator. Timesing on top, dividing on bottom. So instead of dividing this 3, I'm going to multiply that 3. Do the opposite. So times it by 3 on both sides. It's going to give us 108 pi. Okay, these 3's are going to cancel and give us a remaining 4 pi r cubed on that side. Next thing we can do is divide by 4. Right? 108 divided by 4 is 27. And the pi is still there, so make sure you leave your pi there. Okay. And then we're going to divide by pi. So we're just taking care of all the things in front of our variable, okay, or attached to our variable. Now, once we get here, this is where people really start to get tripped up. It's like, if this was r squared, I would know what to do, because the opposite of r squared is the square root, right? Opposite of r squared is square root. But I don't know what the opposite of r cubed is. And it's actually, you can figure it out if you just follow the language, right? So the opposite of r squared is square root, right? This is squared. This is square root. Okay. Well, the opposite of r cubed then, this is cubed. Right? Opposite of that would be cube root. Right? And it looks like this. It looks like a square root with a 3 hanging on that little edge there. And it's actually in our calculator as well. So the way we get there is we go down to this math button. So look under alpha and look to math. And down here at the bottom, or not the bottom, but in the middle is number 4. It's that little symbol right there, the square root with the 3 on top. And we can just hit that. And then we're trying to do the cube root of 27. Okay, cube root of 27. We just plug it in, and that's 3. And that makes sense, right? Because what we're really asking is, what number could I times 3 times? Times by itself 3 times, or what number could I cube to get 27? And if we cubed 3, right, 3 times 3 times 3, 1, 2, 3 of them, so it's cubed, we would get 27. So that's how that cube root works. That's how that cube root works. But basically what you need to remember is that the opposite of something cubed is the cube root.